to talk about the will. You know, the will is totally dependent on ideas or images on the one hand and feelings on the other. And so in a very real sense, the will is a prisoner of them. Because if you don't have those ideas and you don't have those feelings, the will is paralyzed, or it's limited to the ideas and the feelings you have. So that's why it was so important that we start with thoughts and with feelings. The will, in its condition apart from God, is increasingly captivated by a very limited set of ideas and feelings that are primarily focused on the self. And that's really disaster for it. And one of the ironies is that we have come in our culture to try to think of freedom merely in terms of not being compelled, of doing what I want. But, you know, doing what you want can be the greatest prison you can ever be in. It all depends on what you want. And the way out, of course, is to realize that what I want is, above all, must be what God wants, and that's what's best for me. The freedom from is very different from freedom to. Freedom, I'm free now to fly in the sense that no one is keeping me from it. But that won't get me very far off the floor. I have to have abilities to go with it. See, real freedom is a matter of abilities. When you think of freedom, you see some great athlete or some great musician, like Pavarotti, stepping out on the stage and, you know, that's freedom. And it comes out of great discipline. And that discipline was directed by a set of ideas and a set of feelings that were channeled in such a way that now this man has incredible freedom. That's real freedom. And all human accomplishment comes in that way, through the realization of the will, the right ideas, the right feelings, disciplined in a body and in a social context so that you can express. And what you get to express is your soul. And that's why people like to watch these great athletes and great artists. Because they sense soul here, you see, because artistic expression and any form of creativity really comes out of the expression of the soul and the unity of the self. Now, the will is especially important because that's what we contribute to the world. William James, the psychologist, talks about the consents and non-consents. And what we have to give to the world is our consents and our non-consents. And that's our unique contribution. That is nothing else, no one else can do that. That's us. And that's why we want our will to be respected. And that is why, to use Kant's wonderful phrase, we should never use another person as a means only, but also only as an end. An end means that we respect their will. We respect who they are uniquely. They cannot be replaced. And that's why I also said a human being has a dignity, but not a price. Because there's nothing that you can replace the human being with, and the center of that is the will. That's the spirit, and the heart also, as I said. It's spirit because it has that aspect of God, of self-determination. And the consents and the non-consents that come out of my will are precisely the ones that make up my contribution to reality. This is why God wants to know what's in our heart. And He's left us able to hide our hearts in some extent from human beings. But He looks on the heart. And remember, Jesus said that God is looking for people who will worship Him in spirit and in truth, because when you get down to that level, that's really you. That's really you.